Summary and Case Study of the Rules of Thinking by Richard Templar. Short summary. The Rules of Thinking by Richard Templar provides a detailed exploration of how to develop and use clear, effective thinking skills. The text offers a series of rules covering various aspects of thought processes, such as independent thinking, resilient thinking, healthy thinking, organized thinking, creative thinking, problem solving, thinking together, decision-making, and critical thinking. The author emphasizes the importance of being aware of one's own thought patterns and biases, as well as actively cultivating habits that promote clear and rational thinking. Templar's work ultimately aims to equip readers with tools and strategies for improving their thinking abilities, thereby enhancing their overall well-being and success. Chapter Summaries and Learnings from the Rules of Thinking. Chapter 1 Think for Yourself. Templar lays the groundwork for cultivating independent thinking. Templar begins by acknowledging the natural tendency to adopt the thinking of our parents and authority figures as children. However, as we grow, we are exposed to diverse perspectives and develop our own views. The author stresses the importance of actively continuing this process of independent thinking throughout our lives. One of the primary obstacles to thinking for ourselves, according to Templar, is the comfort and familiarity of echo chambers. These are environments where we are constantly surrounded by like-minded individuals, reinforcing existing beliefs and limiting exposure to alternative viewpoints. To break free from this, Templar advocates cultivating friendships based on shared values and genuine connection, rather than solely on shared beliefs. By interacting with people from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and ages, we can broaden our perspectives and challenge our own assumptions. Another barrier to independent thinking is the fear of being different, of holding beliefs that might not align with those around us. Templar acknowledges that this fear is understandable but emphasizes that independent thinking does not require broadcasting our every thought. We can engage in critical analysis and develop our own conclusions internally before sharing them with others. Templar provides several strategies for evaluating information and forming independent judgments. One key rule is to consider the motive behind any persuasive argument. Recognizing the underlying motivations of the person or entity trying to sway our opinion allows us to assess the validity of their claims more objectively. For example, a salesperson extolling the virtues of a particular car might genuinely believe it's a good product, but their primary motive is to make a sale. Recognizing this vested interest helps us approach their claims with a healthy dose of skepticism. Templar further advises readers to be wary of self-interest when evaluating our own thinking. We might unconsciously favor beliefs and decisions that align with our personal gain, whether financial, social, or emotional. Regularly questioning our own motives and potential biases helps to ensure that our thinking is grounded in objectivity. A particularly insightful section of Chapter 1 focuses on the role of emotions in decision-making. Templar asserts that keep hold of your heartstrings is crucial for resisting manipulation. He exposes common tactics used to sway opinions through emotional appeals, such as empathy building and the use of weighted words. Skilled manipulators might highlight shared experiences to create a sense of connection or employ emotionally charged language to evoke a desired response. Recognizing these tactics empowers us to separate emotional appeals from logical reasoning and make more informed decisions. Practicing keep hold of your heartstrings. This rule encourages you to be alert to how others try to influence your thinking through emotional manipulation tactics. 1. Recognize empathy building. People attempting to persuade you often try to establish a connection by highlighting shared experiences or values. They aim to make you feel like you're both coming from the same point. By emphasizing similarities like having children, working in an office, or enjoying certain hobbies, they create a sense of camaraderie, making it easier to guide you towards their desired conclusion. It's important to listen to their perspective, but don't let this manufactured sense of connection cloud your judgment. Ask yourself if you truly agree with their viewpoint and if their motivations align with yours. 2. Identify weighted words. Persuasive language often relies on emotionally charged words that evoke specific feelings and subtly shape your perception. For example, describing a politician as brave paints a positive picture, while calling them foolhardy carries a negative connotation. Similarly, labeling someone firm versus hardline or socially aware versus woolly can significantly impact your opinion. Pay attention to the word choices others use and consider more neutral alternatives in your mind to evaluate their arguments objectively. This awareness can help you see through attempts to manipulate your thinking through loaded language. While it's important to recognize these tactics in others, it's equally crucial to be aware of how you might use them yourself. You might unconsciously employ these strategies when trying to persuade someone, not necessarily with malicious intent. The key is to be mindful of the power of emotional language and use it responsibly, ensuring your arguments are based on logic and reason, not just emotional appeals. Here are 5 examples from Chapter 1 that illustrate the importance of thinking for yourself. 1. Child absorbing parents' values. A child initially accepts their parents' rules and beliefs without question, but as they grow and encounter different perspectives, they begin to modify their views. 2. Cultivating diverse friendships. Choosing friends based on their character rather than solely on shared beliefs helps expose us to a broader range of perspectives and encourages independent thinking. 3. Considering the salesperson's motive. Recognizing that a salesperson's primary goal is to sell a car, regardless of whether it's the best fit for the buyer, encourages critical evaluation of their claims. 4. Identifying emotional manipulation. Recognizing that someone emphasizing shared experiences is attempting to build empathy and sway our opinion helps us resist manipulation. 5. Questioning information from a nurse. Evaluating the completeness of information provided, such as the likelihood of harm from eating soft-cooked eggs during pregnancy, is essential for informed decision-making. Templar concludes by reminding readers to don't be gullible. Blindly accepting information, even when presented in a seemingly authoritative manner, can lead to flawed conclusions. Just because something is written in a book or presented by an expert doesn't make it inherently true. Thinking for ourselves means questioning, evaluating, and forming our own judgments based on careful consideration and critical analysis. Throughout Chapter 1, Templar emphasizes that independent thinking is an ongoing process that requires conscious effort and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions. By employing the strategies outlined in this chapter, we can cultivate a more discerning and critical mindset, empowering ourselves to navigate the complexities of information and make more informed decisions in all aspects of our lives. Chapter 2: Resilient Thinking. Templar shifts focus to resilient thinking, a crucial element for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Templar emphasizes that resilience is not an innate trait possessed by a select few, but rather a skill that can be cultivated through conscious effort and practice. Templar describe resilience as the ability to bounce back from negative experiences, big or small. Resilient individuals possess a strong sense of self-belief and the conviction that they can influence the course of their lives. They approach challenges with a flexible mindset, adaptable to changing circumstances. One of the foundational principles of resilient thinking, as outlined in Templar, is know who you are. This involves recognizing our inherent worth as individuals, separate from external circumstances or the opinions of others. The author shares an anecdote about a friend diagnosed with a serious illness who chose not to define herself by her condition. This woman's resilient response highlights the importance of maintaining a sense of self amidst adversity. Resilience is not about isolation, however. Seeking out a supportive network is crucial for navigating difficult times. Resilient individuals surround themselves with people who genuinely care and offer constructive assistance. This involves recognizing those who offer genuine support and those who, despite their good intentions, might inadvertently hinder our recovery. Templar stressed the significance of taking control of our lives. While some might attribute life's events to fate, resilient individuals believe in their ability to influence outcomes, even in seemingly uncontrollable situations. This belief fuels their motivation to find ways of coping and reframing challenges. Flexibility is another key element of resilient thinking. Just as steel's flexibility allows it to bend without breaking, so too does mental elasticity enable us to adapt and recover from adversity. Templar used the example of a house purchase falling through, highlighting how flexible thinking can lead to quicker recovery and a renewed focus on finding a new home. Templar also emphasized the importance of self-awareness in building resilience. Reflecting on past experiences and analyzing how we handled challenges allows us to learn from our mistakes and approach future difficulties with greater preparedness. This introspective process helps us identify patterns in our responses and develop more effective coping mechanisms. Acceptance is a recurring theme in Templar. Templar encourage the practice of accepting situations as they are, particularly those beyond our control. This doesn't imply passivity but rather a shift in focus from fighting the inevitable to finding ways to manage and move forward. While distractions can offer temporary relief, Templar caution against using them to avoid dealing with difficult situations. Distraction should serve as a break from negative thoughts, not a means of escaping them entirely. Templar also explore the connection between self-esteem and resilience. Liking ourselves, recognizing our strengths and positive qualities, contributes to a more resilient mindset. This involves challenging negative self-perceptions and focusing on our accomplishments, both big and small. Templar further emphasizes the importance of developing coping mechanisms in advance. This involves proactively learning skills that can help us navigate challenging situations, such as stress management techniques, communication skills, and problem-solving strategies. Expressing our thoughts and feelings, particularly during times of crisis, can be a powerful coping mechanism. Templar recommend writing down our thoughts, whether in a journal, a letter, or a list. This externalization allows us to process our emotions, reduce mental clutter, and gain clarity. Finally, Templar encourages self-compassion. Cutting ourselves some slack, recognizing that we are not perfect and will inevitably make mistakes, fosters a more resilient and forgiving mindset. Here are 5 examples that illustrate ways to practice resilient thinking. 1. Focusing on identity. The friend diagnosed with a serious illness chose to define herself by her strengths and passions, not her condition, demonstrating the importance of maintaining a strong sense of self. 2. Seeking constructive support. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who offer genuine help and avoiding those who might inadvertently hinder our recovery are crucial for navigating difficult times. 3. Adapting to a house purchase failure. Embracing flexibility allows us to recognize that alternative options exist, leading to quicker recovery and a renewed search for a new home. 4. Learning from past experiences. Reflecting on how we handled previous challenges, identifying patterns in our responses, and adjusting our approach accordingly contribute to greater preparedness for future difficulties. 5. Expressing feelings through writing. Writing down our thoughts and emotions during times of stress can help reduce mental clutter, process difficult feelings, and gain clarity. By practicing the principles outlined in Chapter 2, we can develop a more resilient mindset, empowering us to navigate life's challenges with greater strength and adaptability. This involves cultivating self-awareness, embracing flexibility, accepting situations beyond our control, building a supportive network, and developing effective coping mechanisms. Chapter 3: Healthy Thinking. Templar focuses on healthy thinking, emphasizing the connection between our thoughts and feelings. The author posits that achieving emotional well-being hinges on adopting healthy thought patterns, which can be cultivated through conscious effort and practice. This chapter builds upon the concept of resilience explored in Chapter 2, outlining practical strategies for maintaining mental and emotional health, not only during times of crisis but in everyday life. Templar suggests that individuals who consistently exhibit a positive outlook and a sense of calm amidst life's ups and downs achieve this state through the application of healthy thinking principles. While some individuals might be predisposed to a healthy mindset, the author emphasizes that these principles can be learned and applied by anyone seeking to enhance their well-being. One of the core tenets of healthy thinking is the ability to think yourself happy. This involves actively choosing to focus on positive aspects of life and cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Templar acknowledged that maintaining a positive outlook doesn't negate the presence of negative emotions, rather, it equips individuals with the resilience to cope with challenges more effectively. The author recounts observing individuals facing significant loss who maintained a positive outlook, highlighting the power of a resilient mindset in navigating difficult times. Templar advocate for shifting our focus outward, encouraging readers to focus on other people. Helping others serves as a powerful antidote to self-pity and provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment. This outward focus can involve supporting friends and family going through difficult times or engaging in volunteer work. The act of helping others not only benefits the recipient but also enhances our own self-esteem and bolsters our resilience in facing our own challenges. Mindfulness, or the practice of being present in the moment, is another key element of healthy thinking. Templar suggests that practicing mindfulness can reduce anxiety, stress, and depression by increasing our awareness of these feelings and allowing us to address them before they become overwhelming. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, and engaging fully in our current experience. Templar challenged the notion that stress is an inevitable consequence of challenging circumstances, asserting that stress is optional. The author recounts personal experiences with stress, highlighting the tendency to magnify minor inconveniences into major anxieties. By consciously choosing to reframe our perception of stressful situations and focusing on the things that truly matter, we can significantly reduce our stress levels. This shift in perspective involves accepting that life will inevitably present challenges and choosing to respond with calm and reason rather than panic and anxiety. Templar also emphasizes the importance of recognizing that normality isn't normal. Everyone possesses unique quirks, habits, and sensitivities. Embracing this diversity and accepting our own individuality fosters a sense of belonging and reduces the pressure to conform to unrealistic expectations. Templar encourages us to celebrate our differences and recognize that what might seem abnormal to one person might be perfectly normal for another. Templar highlight the importance of developing emotional awareness, encouraging readers to evaluate your emotions. This involves identifying and naming our feelings, understanding the triggers that evoke them, and recognizing the impact they have on our thoughts and behaviors. By developing emotional awareness, we gain a greater sense of control over our responses to challenging situations and can make more informed decisions. The ability to laugh at yourself is presented as a crucial element of healthy thinking. Humor serves as a powerful coping mechanism, allowing us to detach from stressful situations and gain perspective. The author recounts observations from volunteer work with a charity, noting a strong correlation between individuals who coped well with adversity and those who possessed a good sense of humor. Templar advocates for continuous learning, stating that keep learning is essential for maintaining a healthy mind. Engaging in new activities, acquiring new knowledge, and developing new skills keeps our minds active and engaged. This continuous pursuit of learning not only enhances our knowledge base but also fosters a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Templar acknowledged the discomfort associated with feeling incompetent, stating that no one likes to be incompetent. They outline the 4 stages of learning: unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. This framework helps us understand the natural progression of skill development and encourages us to embrace the challenges associated with learning new things. Templar emphasizes that practice makes progress, reminding readers that mastering any skill requires consistent effort and practice. This applies not only to tangible skills like learning a new language or playing a musical instrument but also to developing healthy thinking habits. The more we consciously practice these principles, the more they become ingrained in our thought patterns. Finally, Templar cautions against dwelling on negative experiences, stating that turn off the action replays. Obsessively replaying past mistakes or dwelling on negative thoughts can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression. Templar suggests various strategies for breaking free from this cycle of rumination, including mindfulness, distraction, and seeking support from others. Here are 5 examples that illustrate ways to practice healthy thinking. 1. Maintaining a positive outlook, cultivating an attitude of gratitude and choosing to focus on positive aspects of life, even in the face of challenges, fosters a more resilient and joyful mindset. 2. Volunteering to help others, shifting our focus outward and engaging in acts of service not only benefits others but also enhances our own self-esteem and sense of purpose. 3. Practicing mindfulness, engaging in activities that promote presence in the moment, such as meditation or spending time in nature, can reduce stress and anxiety by fostering a sense of calm and focus. 4. Reframing stressful situations, consciously choosing to view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than threats to our well-being, can significantly reduce stress levels. 5. Challenging negative self-perceptions, recognizing our strengths and accomplishments, both big and small, and focusing on positive aspects of our personality can enhance self-esteem and foster a more resilient mindset. By practicing the principles outlined in Chapter 3, we can cultivate a healthier and more fulfilling mindset, empowering us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. This involves prioritizing our mental and emotional well-being, embracing a positive outlook, connecting with others, practicing mindfulness, and cultivating self-compassion. Chapter 4: Organized Thinking. Templar transitions from cultivating a healthy mind to the practical application of that mindset and managing daily life. Templar focuses on organized thinking, a skill set the author considers essential for navigating the demands of a busy life while maintaining a sense of calm and control. Templar argue that individuals who seem to effortlessly manage demanding careers, family responsibilities, social engagements, and personal pursuits do so not through superhuman abilities but through the effective application of organized thinking principles. These principles, the author asserts, can be learned and applied by anyone seeking to maximize their efficiency, reduce stress, and achieve a greater sense of accomplishment. At the core of organized thinking is the belief that it is a worthwhile and valuable pursuit. Templar challenge the notion that some people are simply born organized while others are not, suggesting that anyone can develop this skill set through conscious effort and practice. This belief forms the foundation for all subsequent principles outlined in Templar. Templar advocate for the power of list-making as a cornerstone of organized thinking. They acknowledge that some individuals resist this practice, perceiving it as a time-consuming or daunting task. However, Templar argue that list-making ultimately saves time and reduces stress by streamlining mental processes. Taking the time to list out tasks allows for more efficient grouping and planning, reducing the mental strain of trying to remember everything. Facilitating a focused approach, writing down tasks frees up mental space, allowing for greater concentration on the task at hand. Reducing errors and omissions. A comprehensive list reduces the likelihood of forgetting important tasks or having to retrace steps due to oversights. Templar suggest breaking down large, overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable lists to make the process less daunting. They even propose starting a list with something quick, something you enjoy, and something you've already done to create a sense of momentum and accomplishment. Templar emphasize the importance of thinking outside your head by externalizing thoughts and plans. This involves using tools like calendars, notes, online diaries, and other visual aids to free up mental space and reduce the strain of trying to remember everything. They suggest that the mental effort required to manage everyday logistics, even those not directly related to a specific project or task, can be surprisingly draining. Building on this concept, Templar introduced the idea of avoiding RAM overload by recognizing the limits of working memory. They acknowledge that our brains are constantly processing information and managing tasks, even when we're not consciously aware of it. Overloading our working memory with too many details and decisions can lead to mental exhaustion and reduced efficiency. Templar recommends strategies for managing RAM overload, such as prioritizing tasks, focusing on the most important and time-sensitive items first, while deferring less urgent tasks to a later time. Creating empty head time, engaging in activities that allow for mental rest and relaxation, such as spending time in nature, meditating, or pursuing hobbies. Recognizing the impact on others, understanding that family members and colleagues are also susceptible to RAM overload and adjusting expectations accordingly. Templar advocate for reframing our perception of deadlines, suggesting we make deadlines your friend. While deadlines can feel like sources of pressure, Templar argue that they can also serve as powerful motivators, providing a sense of urgency and structure. By embracing deadlines as helpful guides rather than looming threats, we can harness their power to enhance productivity and efficiency. Templar concludes by addressing the tendency to overthink decisions, advising readers to don't indulge decision-making. They acknowledge that large-scale projects often involve numerous decisions, both big and small. While careful consideration is important for major choices, agonizing over every minor detail can be time-consuming and mentally draining. Templar recommends strategies for streamlining decision-making, such as focusing on essential decisions, identifying the truly important choices that require thoughtful deliberation and deferring less impactful decisions to a later time or making them quickly. Setting time limits, allocating a specific amount of time to research and consider options, then making a decision and moving on. Embracing good enough, recognizing that perfection is often unattainable and that a good enough decision is often preferable to a delayed or agonizing one. Templar encourages readers to embrace a creative approach to organization, recognizing that standard methods might not work for every situation or individual. They suggest experimenting with different techniques, like visual aids, mnemonics, or even unconventional methods like turning a toothbrush upside down as a reminder. Here are 5 examples from Chapter 4 that illustrate ways to practice organized thinking. 1. Creating detailed lists for a trip abroad. This could involve separate lists for items to buy, administrative tasks, packing essentials, and any other relevant categories. 2. Using a calendar or online diary to manage appointments and deadlines. This helps to visualize time commitments and ensures important dates aren't overlooked. 3. Delegating tasks to others when appropriate. This recognizes the limits of individual capacity and allows for a more efficient distribution of workload. 4. Setting aside dedicated time for focused work, free from distractions. This might involve turning off phone notifications, closing email, or finding a quiet workspace. 5. Making a quick decision about a minor detail rather than agonizing over it. This frees up mental space and energy for more important decisions. By embracing the principles of organized thinking outlined in Chapter 4, we can effectively manage the demands of our lives, reduce stress, and achieve a greater sense of accomplishment. This involves cultivating a belief in the value of organization, adopting practical tools and techniques, recognizing the limits of our mental capacity, and embracing a flexible and creative approach to problem solving. Chapter 5: Thinking Creatively. Templar takes a turn from the practicalities of organized thinking and focuses on thinking creatively. This chapter encourages readers to move beyond conventional thought patterns and embrace the power of imagination to generate innovative ideas and solutions. Templar suggests that, while some individuals may possess a natural inclination towards creative thinking, it is a skill that can be cultivated and honed through practice and the application of specific thinking strategies. Templar acknowledged the popular notion of waiting for the muse to strike, implying that creative thinking is a passive process dependent on inspiration. However, the author argues that true creative thinking involves active effort and a willingness to engage in the mental perspiration required to bring ideas to fruition. This requires a shift in mindset from passively awaiting inspiration to actively cultivating the conditions that foster creative thought. Templar emphasized the importance of consistent practice in developing creative thinking skills. They argue that sporadic attempts at creativity are insufficient to cultivate the necessary mental agility. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, so too does creative thinking benefit from consistent mental workouts. Engaging in creative pursuits regularly helps to establish the necessary mental habits and make creative thinking a more natural and effortless process. Templar outlines a series of rules designed to guide readers in developing their creative thinking abilities. These rules provide a framework for both nurturing a creative mindset and engaging in specific exercises to stimulate creative thought. The first step in cultivating creative thinking is to feed your mind with diverse and stimulating input. Templar highlight the importance of reading, particularly fiction, as a means of expanding imagination and exposing the mind to new ideas and perspectives. They argue that, in an age where factual knowledge is readily accessible online, cultivating a rich imagination is paramount for fostering creative thinking. Beyond reading, Templar recommend engaging with other forms of creative expression, such as music, poetry, comedy, and visual arts, as a means of stimulating the mind and encouraging flexible thinking. Once the mind is properly nourished, the next step is to get in the mood for creative thinking. Templar acknowledge that creative thinking is not a switch that can be turned on and off at will. It requires a conducive mental state, free from distractions and conducive to imaginative exploration. This may involve creating a calming and inspiring environment, engaging in relaxing activities, or simply taking time to clear the mind and allow thoughts to flow freely. Templar emphasized the importance of warming up the mind before engaging in creative exercises. They recommend activities that encourage divergent thinking, a mode of thought that expands outward from a single point to explore a wide range of possibilities. This stands in contrast to convergent thinking, which focuses on narrowing down options to arrive at a single, correct answer. Divergent thinking exercises, such as brainstorming uncommon uses for common objects, help to loosen up mental rigidity and prime the mind for more flexible and imaginative thinking. Templars stress the importance of eliminating self-judgment and embracing the possibility of making mistakes. They argue that the fear of failure can be a significant barrier to creative thinking. By releasing the need for perfection and allowing for the possibility of missteps, we create a more conducive environment for experimentation and exploration, essential components of creative thinking. Templar challenged the common exhortation to think outside the box, suggesting that it is often more effective to first spot the box that constrains our thinking. This involves identifying the specific assumptions and limitations that prevent us from considering alternative perspectives or solutions. Once these constraints are recognized, it becomes easier to move beyond them and explore new possibilities. This approach encourages a more conscious and deliberate approach to breaking free from conventional thought patterns. Templar offer a number of specific techniques for stimulating creative thinking. These include 1. Thinking like someone else. This involves adopting the perspective of another person, real or imagined, to gain fresh insights and challenge ingrained assumptions. 2. Making connections. This involves forcing the mind to connect seemingly unrelated concepts or ideas, often leading to unexpected and innovative insights. Templar suggests techniques like randomly selecting a word from a dictionary and finding ways to connect it to the problem or project at hand. 3. Forgetting about other people. This involves releasing the fear of judgment and allowing ideas to flow freely without concern for external opinions or expectations. This encourages a more authentic and uninhibited approach to creative thinking. Here are 5 examples from Chapter 5 that illustrate ways to practice creative thinking. 1. Brainstorming 10 uncommon uses for a paperclip. This exercise encourages divergent thinking and helps to break free from conventional associations with the object. 2. Imagining how a famous historical figure would approach a current problem. This technique allows for a fresh perspective and challenges habitual thinking patterns. 3. Creating a mood board using images and words that evoke a desired feeling or concept. This visual approach can stimulate new ideas and associations. 4. Taking a walk in nature and observing patterns, textures, and shapes for inspiration. This approach encourages a more open and receptive mindset. 5. Writing a short story or poem using a randomly selected word as a starting point. This exercise encourages creative use of language and unexpected associations. By applying the rules and techniques outlined in Chapter 5, we can move beyond limiting thought patterns and tap into the power of creative thinking. This involves feeding our minds with stimulating input, cultivating a conducive mental state, embracing experimentation, and actively engaging in exercises that encourage divergent thinking. Through consistent practice, we can transform creative thinking from a sporadic event into a natural and readily accessible skill. Chapter 6 Problem Solving. Templar shifts from creative thinking to the more reactive realm of problem solving. While creative thinking involves exploring a wide range of possibilities, problem solving focuses on overcoming a specific obstacle or challenge. Templar emphasizes that successful problem solving requires a clear and organized approach, as well as the ability to generate and evaluate potential solutions. Templar stress the importance of approaching problems with a clear and rational mind, free from emotional distractions. Negative emotions, such as worry, anger, and frustration, can hinder the problem-solving process by clouding judgment and inhibiting creative thinking. Just as in Chapter 5, Templar recommend taking steps to create a conducive mental state for problem solving. This may involve engaging in activities that reduce stress and anxiety, such as exercise, relaxation techniques, or spending time in nature. Templar outlines a series of rules that provide a framework for effective problem solving. These rules emphasize the importance of careful analysis, creative thinking, and a willingness to seek help when needed. The first step in tackling any problem is to clear your emotions out of the way. While this may seem counterintuitive, Templar argue that emotional detachment is essential for objective and effective problem solving. Templar suggests several strategies for managing emotions in the face of a problem, including 1. Creating a calming environment. This might involve minimizing distractions, listening to soothing music, or engaging in relaxation techniques. 2. Distracting yourself with other activities. This can provide a temporary break from the problem and allow for a fresh perspective. 3. Buying yourself time. If possible, postponing the problem-solving process can allow emotions to settle and facilitate a more rational approach. Before diving into the problem-solving process, it's crucial to ensure you are solving the right problem. Templar caution against mistaking symptoms for the root cause of a problem. They provide an example of a car that won't start on the day of a planned vacation. Instead of focusing solely on fixing the car, the author suggests considering the broader problem of needing to reach the vacation destination. This might lead to exploring alternative transportation options, such as renting a car or taking public transport. Once the problem is clearly defined, the next step is to loosen up and allow for a wide range of potential solutions. This echoes the emphasis on divergent thinking in Chapter 5. Templar discourage rigid thinking and encourage brainstorming multiple solutions, even those that seem unconventional or impractical. They argue that seemingly stupid ideas can often spark more viable solutions or lead to unexpected insights. Templar cautions against settling for the first answer that comes to mind. Instead, it encourages exploring multiple solutions and evaluating their respective merits. The first answer might provide a temporary fix, a plan B, but a more thoughtful analysis might reveal a better solution. Templar recommend treating each idea as a starting point and exploring ways to improve upon it. They also emphasize the importance of considering multiple perspectives and seeking input from others. When facing a particularly challenging problem, it can be helpful to find a way in by focusing on an aspect that feels more manageable or within your comfort zone. This approach can help to overcome the inertia that often accompanies complex problems. For example, if struggling with a large writing project, the author suggests starting with a section that feels more familiar or engaging. Templar emphasizes the importance of persistence and avoiding getting bogged down when faced with a persistent problem. Templar recommend taking breaks, trying new approaches, and seeking inspiration from unexpected sources. In addition to the internal barriers to problem solving, Templar acknowledges the importance of seeking help when needed. Templar recognize that asking for help can be challenging for some individuals, often due to ego or a fear of appearing incompetent. However, they emphasize that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. They argue that consulting with others can provide valuable insights, expand perspectives, and ultimately lead to more effective solutions. Here are 5 examples that illustrate problem-solving techniques. 1. Creating a worry list to externalize anxieties and free up mental space for problem-solving. This technique helps to manage emotional distractions and promotes a more organized approach to problem-solving. 2. Redefining perfection to include timeliness when struggling with procrastination. This approach helps to shift perspective and prioritize completing tasks over achieving an unattainable ideal. 3. Analyzing a car breakdown by considering both the immediate problem of the car not working and the broader problem of needing to reach a destination. This highlights the importance of identifying the core issue that needs addressing. 4. Starting a writing project in the middle by choosing a section that feels more accessible or inspiring. This technique overcomes the initial barrier to starting and encourages progress through momentum. 5. Drawing a problem to visualize it from a different perspective. This approach encourages creative thinking and can lead to unexpected insights. By applying the rules and techniques outlined in Chapter 6, we can become more effective problem solvers. This involves managing our emotions, carefully analyzing the problem, generating a range of solutions, seeking help when needed, and maintaining a persistent and adaptable mindset. Problem solving, as presented in Templar, is not simply about finding the right answer, but about thinking through challenges in a way that leads to the best possible outcome. Chapter 7: Thinking Together. Templar explores the dynamics and benefits of thinking together. It acknowledges the challenges and rewards of collaborative thinking, emphasizing that when done effectively, group thinking can surpass the capabilities of individuals working alone. Templar provides practical advice on how to maximize the effectiveness of collaborative thinking, encouraging readers to cultivate the skills and attitudes that foster productive group interactions. Templar begins by establishing the fundamental principle that you're better together. Templar argue that most people think better when they collaborate with others. This collaborative approach allows individuals to bounce ideas off each other, gain new perspectives, and break free from individual thinking patterns or ruts. Templar highlight the synergistic effect of group thinking, suggesting that the combined intellectual effort can often lead to outcomes that surpass the capabilities of any single individual. To optimize group thinking, Templar encourages individuals to play to everyone's strengths. This involves recognizing that different individuals possess unique skills and perspectives, and that a successful group leverages these differences rather than trying to homogenize them. Templar use the analogy of an escape room, where a group's success depends on each member utilizing their strengths to solve different aspects of the puzzle. Taking this concept a step further, Templar suggests that groups should strive to think like a hive. This means viewing the group as a single, collective entity, with each member contributing their unique skills and perspectives to the overall goal. Templar emphasize the importance of valuing diversity of thought within a group, recognizing that even seemingly frustrating or counterintuitive thinking styles can play a crucial role in achieving a well-rounded outcome. To effectively think together, individuals must be willing to leave your ego behind. This means detaching from the need to have their ideas prevail and recognizing that the group's success is more important than individual recognition. Templar acknowledge that it can be challenging to see one's ideas rejected or modified, but encourage individuals to prioritize the collective goal over personal pride. In order to ensure that all voices are heard, Templar advises groups to keep an eye on the quiet ones. This involves actively seeking input from individuals who might not readily volunteer their thoughts. Templar recognize that quieter members of a group can often offer valuable insights, particularly those who might be less confident or intimidated by more vocal participants. Templar challenges the notion that groups should strive for consensus at all costs. Instead, it suggests that conflict is okay as long as it is handled constructively. Templar argue that disagreement can lead to more robust thinking and better outcomes, as long as the group establishes ground rules for respectful and productive debate. These ground rules include: 1. Focusing on ideas rather than personalities. This means disagreeing with the thought rather than attacking the person expressing it. 2. Maintaining a respectful and professional demeanor. This involves avoiding personal insults, raised voices, or emotional outbursts. 3. Ensuring that all perspectives are heard. This means creating space for everyone to contribute, even those who hold dissenting opinions. 4. Viewing disagreement as an opportunity for growth. This means embracing challenges as a way to refine ideas and strengthen arguments. When groups need to generate ideas, Templar recommends thinking up a storm through brainstorming. This well-established technique encourages free-flowing ideas without judgment, allowing participants to build upon each other's suggestions and explore a wide range of possibilities. To maximize the effectiveness of brainstorming, Templar encourages participants to have stupid ideas. Templar argue that seemingly absurd or impractical ideas can often spark more viable solutions or lead to unexpected breakthroughs. They encourage individuals to overcome the fear of judgment and freely share their thoughts, no matter how unconventional they may seem. Finally, Templar recognizes the importance of keeping in sync when groups are not physically together. This involves maintaining communication, sharing individual insights, and ensuring that the group remains aligned on its goals and strategies. Here are some suggestions for practicing the principles of thinking together. 1. Engage in regular brainstorming sessions with a group of friends or colleagues. This could involve tackling a specific problem, generating ideas for a project, or simply exploring a topic of interest. 2. Consciously focus on identifying and leveraging the strengths of each group member. This might involve assigning roles based on individual skills or encouraging individuals to contribute in areas where they feel most confident. 3. Actively encourage disagreement and debate during group discussions. This can be done by explicitly stating that dissenting opinions are welcome, asking specific questions to elicit different perspectives, or assigning someone the role of devil's advocate. 4. Pay attention to the quieter members of a group and actively solicit their input. This can be done by directly asking for their thoughts, creating space for them to speak, or using techniques like round-robin discussions where everyone gets a chance to contribute. 5. Experiment with different methods of communication and collaboration when working remotely. This might involve using online collaboration tools, scheduling regular check-in meetings, or creating a shared online workspace. 5 examples of thinking together in action. 1. A work team struggling to come up with innovative ideas benefits from the addition of a negative thinker who challenges their assumptions and forces them to refine their thinking. This example highlights the value of diversity of thought and the importance of constructive conflict. 2. A group of friends planning a trip collaborates by each researching different aspects of the destination and sharing their findings. This demonstrates the power of leveraging individual strengths and working together to gather and synthesize information. 3. A community organization seeking to improve its outreach efforts solicits ideas from both experienced volunteers and newer members. This illustrates the importance of valuing all perspectives and recognizing that fresh insights can come from unexpected sources. 4. A family trying to decide where to go on vacation uses a brainstorming session to generate a wide range of potential destinations. This example shows how brainstorming can help groups explore possibilities and move beyond their initial ideas. 5. A work team uses an online collaboration tool to share ideas and track progress on a project while working remotely. This demonstrates the importance of staying connected and maintaining momentum when groups are not physically together. By embracing the principles of thinking together, individuals and groups can unlock a powerful source of creativity, innovation, and problem-solving. Collaborative thinking requires not only strong individual thinking skills, but also the ability to effectively communicate, listen, and work together towards a common goal. Chapter 8: Making Decisions. Templar focuses on the crucial skill of making decisions, particularly those significant life choices that can profoundly impact one's future. Templar underscores the importance of clarity, confidence, and a systematic approach when navigating these pivotal moments. It offers practical guidance to empower individuals in making informed decisions, minimizing regrets, and embracing the outcomes with conviction. Templar sets the stage by emphasizing the importance of decide, what you're deciding. It cautions against the common pitfall of focusing on the means rather than the desired end. Templar illustrate this with the example of someone yearning for freelance work, driven by a desire to escape workplace challenges. Upon deeper reflection, they realize that the inherent insecurity of freelancing conflicts with their personality, leading them to identify a different solution that addresses the core issue. Templar advocates against start, at square two and urges individuals to carefully reconsider their assumptions before leaping into action. When contemplating major life changes like switching careers, moving, or choosing a university, it is crucial to revisit the underlying motivations and explore alternative solutions. Sometimes, Templar suggest, the most effective course of action may involve simple adjustments to the existing situation rather than a radical upheaval. This approach underscores the value of critically evaluating the need for change before embarking on a potentially costly and disruptive course. To streamline the decision-making process, Templar suggests setting yourself boundaries. Templar acknowledge that an abundance of options can be paralyzing and advocate for establishing clear constraints to focus the search. By defining parameters such as location, budget, or specific requirements, individuals can effectively narrow down choices and avoid becoming overwhelmed by an excess of possibilities. For intricate decisions tangled with other choices, Templar advises to untangle the knots first. When faced with a web of interconnected decisions, Templar recommend a strategic approach. 1. Prioritize the most crucial decision. This helps create a sense of order and simplifies the process by addressing the most pressing issue first. 2. Consider each decision independently. This involves mentally isolating each choice and exploring options as if the other complexities did not exist. 3. Identify the ideal outcome for each decision. This provides a clear benchmark for evaluating compromises and ensuring that the final decision aligns with personal values and goals. Templar acknowledges that gathering information is crucial for informed decision-making. It cautions against over-researching, recommending a balanced approach that avoids information overload. Templar suggest focusing on reliable sources, prioritizing relevant data, and recognizing the limitations of available information. Recognizing the influence of others, Templar encourages individuals to vet your advisors. Templar emphasize the importance of critically evaluating the advice received from colleagues, family, friends, or professionals. They suggest considering factors such as the advisor's personal biases, potential conflicts of interest, and the overall soundness of their reasoning. This discerning approach ensures that the advice taken is truly objective and beneficial to the decision-making process. Beyond seeking external counsel, Templar promotes self-reliance, urging individuals to be your own advisor. Templar recommend a thought experiment where individuals imagine seeking advice from different people in their lives. This exercise reveals personal biases, helping individuals recognize whom they typically consult and why. It encourages a more conscious and objective approach to seeking advice, ensuring that decisions are not unduly influenced by the opinions of a select few. Templar stresses the importance of avoiding hasty conclusions and encourages careful consideration of all available information before making a final judgment. Drawing on an example from Templar, a business owner initially assumes lack of demand for their products, only to realize upon further investigation that a simple adjustment to their offerings can unlock a viable market. To make sound decisions, Templar emphasizes understanding the role of emotions. It acknowledges the tendency for emotions to drive impulsive choices, leading to potential regrets. Templar recommend pausing before making significant decisions influenced by strong emotions, allowing time for careful reflection and a more balanced perspective. Templar highlights the interplay between logic and emotion in decision-making. While acknowledging the disruptive potential of unchecked emotions, it also recognizes the crucial role they play in evaluating options and assessing risks. Templar argue that emotions inform our judgment, help weigh different factors, and provide subjective insights that pure logic cannot capture. They emphasize the importance of striking a balance, utilizing both logical reasoning and emotional awareness to arrive at well-rounded decisions. Recognizing that real-life scenarios often involve constraints, Templar encourages individuals to learn to compromise. Templar acknowledge that achieving the ideal outcome is not always possible and advocate for a flexible approach that embraces compromise. They caution against rigidly pursuing perfection, suggesting that an unwillingness to settle for less than ideal can lead to missed opportunities or prolonged stagnation. In situations where existing options are unsatisfactory, Templar suggests find, option C. Templar emphasize the importance of exploring creative solutions when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles. This involves thinking outside the box, challenging assumptions, and generating new possibilities that might not have been initially apparent. Templar encourages a positive mindset, suggesting that a belief in finding a workable solution often paves the way for its discovery. Templar introduces a powerful technique for managing decision anxiety, assess, the cost of a bad decision. Templar recommend considering the worst-case scenario to gain perspective and alleviate unnecessary worry. By rationally evaluating the potential consequences, individuals can often realize that the stakes are not as high as initially perceived, leading to a more calm and collected decision-making process. To minimize future regrets, Templar emphasizes the importance of making decisions consciously and decisively. This involves applying the principles outlined throughout Templar, gathering information, evaluating options, considering emotional factors, and ultimately arriving at a choice that aligns with personal values and goals. Finally, Templar addresses the issue of procrastination, highlighting the difference between strategic waiting and avoidance. It encourages individuals to be honest about their motivations, recognizing when delays are justified versus when they stem from fear or indecision. Here are some suggestions for honing your decision-making skills. 1. Practice setting clear boundaries before researching options. This helps narrow down choices and prevents information overload. 2. Apply the untangling knots technique to complex decisions with multiple interconnected choices. Break down the problem into smaller, manageable components. 3. Before seeking advice, consciously consider potential biases or agendas of your chosen advisors. Seek diverse perspectives and critically evaluate the advice received. 4. When struggling with decision anxiety, rationally assess the worst-case scenario to gain perspective and reduce stress. 5. Practice making small, everyday decisions consciously and decisively. This helps develop a habit of thoughtful decision-making that can be applied to more significant choices. 5 examples of decision-making in action. 1. A couple struggling to decide whether to move to a new city uses the untangling knots technique to prioritize their concerns and break down the complex decision into smaller, manageable steps. 2. An individual considering a career change avoids starting at square two by revisiting their initial motivations and exploring alternative solutions within their current field. 3. A business owner facing a difficult choice seeks advice from a diverse group of advisors, carefully considering their potential biases and perspectives before making a final decision. 4. Someone anxious about making a major purchase rationally assesses the worst-case scenario to alleviate their fears and gain a more balanced perspective. 5. An individual prone to impulsive decisions practices making small, everyday choices more consciously and deliberately, developing a habit of thoughtful decision-making that extends to larger life choices. By applying these principles, individuals can transform decision-making from a source of stress and uncertainty into a process that empowers them to shape their lives with confidence and clarity. Chapter 9: Critical Thinking. Templar explores critical thinking as a key skill for analyzing information, forming sound judgments, and avoiding common pitfalls of flawed reasoning. Templar emphasizes the importance of engaging with information actively, questioning assumptions, and recognizing potential biases. Templar begins by advocating for a broader intellectual engagement, suggesting that reading thought-provoking authors like John Donne can stimulate critical thinking. Donne's works, known for their intricate arguments and complex metaphors, challenge readers to analyze and interpret, fostering a more active and discerning approach to consuming information. Templar then cautions against being played for a fool by persuasive messaging and manipulative information that pervades modern society. Templar highlight advertising, fake news, and biased campaigns as examples where critical thinking is crucial for discerning truth from fabrication. They recommend questioning the motives of those presenting information, considering who benefits from the message, and identifying any missing or incomplete data that might skew the perspective. A striking example from Templar involves a nurse's claim that eating soft-cooked eggs during pregnancy can lead to salmonella, potentially harming the unborn child. This information, while true, omits crucial context, such as the likelihood of salmonella actually harming the baby. This example underscores the importance of seeking complete information and questioning data that appears incomplete or intentionally misleading. Templar encourages individuals to stand back and take in the view when presented with information. Using the analogy of a senior manager seeking a job at a wildlife charity, Templar illustrate the importance of looking beyond the immediate details. The manager, despite presenting a compelling vision and demonstrating her capabilities, overlooked the broader context of the charity's mission and values, resulting in a failed job application. This example emphasizes the need to consider the bigger picture, understanding the underlying context, and aligning one's perspective with the broader goals and values of the situation. To cultivate a more analytical mindset, Templar recommends look, for what comes next. This involves actively engaging with information and extrapolating potential consequences, implications, or deductions. Templar provide everyday examples, such as inferring the need to leave work early based on a movie start time, to illustrate how we routinely apply this principle on a small scale. They encourage readers to extend this practice to more complex situations, questioning the implications of news reports, presentations, or arguments to develop a deeper understanding of the topic and its potential ramifications. Templar then addresses the challenge of managing an abundance of data. Recognizing that information overload can hinder critical thinking, Templar advises to not bother your pretty little head with irrelevant details. This involves discerning relevant information from extraneous data, identifying potential conflicts or inconsistencies, and prioritizing the most crucial facts for analysis. Templar acknowledged the inherent difficulty of this task, especially when dealing with vast amounts of data, and emphasized the need for careful consideration and a discerning approach. Recognizing the pervasive role of risk in decision-making, Templar encourages individuals to consider the odds. Templar highlight our inherent difficulty in accurately assessing risk, noting that our perceptions are often skewed by emotions or personal biases. They provide the example of fearing a plane crash while overlooking the statistically higher risk of driving a car. Templar emphasizes the importance of rationally evaluating risks, considering factual probabilities rather than succumbing to fear or unfounded assumptions. To ensure objectivity, Templar stresses the importance of recognizing that facts are neutral. It cautions against confirmation bias, a common tendency to seek out information that supports pre-existing beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. Templar emphasized the importance of approaching information with an open mind, considering all perspectives, and being willing to adjust one's viewpoint based on the available evidence. Templar further advises readers to don't trust statistics blindly. Recognizing the potential for manipulation, Templar highlight how statistics can be presented in misleading ways to support specific agendas. They recommend scrutinizing the source of the data, the sample size, the questions asked in surveys, and the overall context in which statistics are presented. By understanding the potential for bias and misrepresentation, individuals can critically evaluate statistical claims and avoid being swayed by incomplete or distorted information. To unravel complex relationships, Templar emphasizes the importance of understand, cause and effect. Templar caution against assuming a causal link between correlated events, noting that correlation does not necessarily imply causation. They offer a surprising example: the correlation between the rate of divorce in Maine and the per capita consumption of margarine. While these factors might appear related, a critical thinker would recognize the absurdity of assuming a causal link, highlighting the importance of seeking alternative explanations and avoiding spurious correlations. Templar then tackles the challenge of navigating and proving claims, advising readers that if you can't prove it's true, that doesn't mean it isn't. Templar acknowledged the limitations of proof, noting that many scientific theories and personal beliefs cannot be definitively proven. They encourage a balanced approach, acknowledging the possibility of truth even in the absence of conclusive evidence while also recognizing the dangers of mistaking personal experiences or anecdotal evidence for proof. They caution against dismissing and proving claims outright, urging a thoughtful evaluation of the available information and an openness to possibilities. To resist the pressure of conformity, Templar emphasizes the importance of independent thought, advising readers to don't believe it just because everyone else does. This principle underscores the value of questioning popular opinions, scrutinizing widely held beliefs, and forming judgments based on evidence and logical reasoning rather than succumbing to groupthink. Templar further cautions against letting personal desires influence critical thinking, advising readers to don't believe it just because you want to. Templar acknowledged the powerful influence of emotions and personal biases, highlighting the tendency to embrace beliefs that align with our desires or worldview. They encourage individuals to actively challenge their own assumptions, seeking out evidence that contradicts their beliefs, and being willing to adjust their perspective based on new information. To sharpen critical thinking skills, Templar recommends the practice of devil's advocate. This involves challenging one's own beliefs by taking an opposing viewpoint and constructing counterarguments. By actively seeking out weaknesses in one's own reasoning, individuals can identify potential biases, strengthen their arguments, and develop a more balanced and nuanced perspective. Recognizing the dynamic nature of information, Templar stresses the importance of remaining open to new evidence and changing circumstances. It cautions against into lockdown intellectually, clinging to outdated beliefs despite new information or shifting perspectives. Templar emphasized the importance of continuous learning, adaptability, and a willingness to revise one's viewpoint based on evolving knowledge and understanding. Finally, Templar underscores the distinction between opinions and facts. It acknowledges the prevalence of emotionally charged arguments disguised as rational discourse, urging readers to discern the underlying motivations and biases that shape opinions. Templar highlight the importance of grounding arguments in evidence, supporting claims with verifiable facts, and avoiding the trap of presenting personal beliefs as objective truths. Here are some ways to strengthen your critical thinking skills. 1. Engage with intellectually stimulating material. Read books, articles, or essays that challenge your assumptions and require active analysis and interpretation. 2. Question the motives behind information. Consider who benefits from the message, identify potential biases, and seek out missing information. 3. Look beyond the immediate details. Consider the broader context, understand underlying values and goals, and assess long-term implications. 4. Practice extrapolating consequences. When presented with information, ask yourself what comes next. Consider potential outcomes, implications, and deductions. 5. Sift information carefully. Distinguish relevant facts from extraneous data, identify inconsistencies, and prioritize crucial information for analysis. 6. Rationally assess risks. Consider factual probabilities, avoid emotional reasoning, and be mindful of cumulative risks in complex situations. 7. Challenge your own beliefs. Play devil's advocate, seek out counterarguments, and be open to revising your viewpoint based on new information. 5 examples of critical thinking in action. 1. A consumer skeptical of a product's advertised claims researches independent reviews and analyzes the company's marketing tactics to make an informed purchasing decision. 2. A voter evaluates the platforms of different political candidates, scrutinizing their proposed policies and considering potential biases in their messaging before casting a vote. 3. A student analyzing a historical event considers multiple perspectives, researching primary sources and scholarly interpretations to form a nuanced understanding of the event's causes and consequences. 4. A scientist evaluating a research study carefully examines the methodology, sample size, and statistical analysis to assess the validity of the findings and identify potential limitations. 5. An individual confronted with a controversial social issue engages in thoughtful discussion with people holding different viewpoints, actively listening to their perspectives and challenging their own assumptions to develop a more informed and balanced opinion. By consistently applying these principles, individuals can develop their critical thinking abilities, becoming more discerning consumers of information, astute decision-makers, and active participants in shaping a more informed and reasoned world. Chapter 10. These are the rules. Templar serves as a concluding guide to implementing the numerous thinking strategies outlined throughout the book. It acknowledges the potential overwhelm of grappling with 100 rules simultaneously and encourages readers to adopt a gradual, personalized approach. Templar emphasizes that these rules are not rigid mandates but rather adaptable guidelines based on the habits and practices of successful individuals. Embracing the gradual approach. Templar, recognizing the potential for feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of rules, advocates a measured approach to implementation. It suggests selecting a small subset of rules, perhaps 3 or 4, that resonate strongly or address specific areas for improvement. This focused approach allows for gradual integration, fostering a sense of accomplishment and encouraging continued engagement with the remaining rules. Identifying the most impactful rules. Templar emphasized the importance of personalizing the rule selection process, encouraging readers to prioritize those that align with their individual needs and aspirations. This might involve identifying rules that address specific challenges, enhance existing strengths, or promote overall well-being. The key is to select rules that feel both meaningful and achievable, fostering a sense of motivation and ownership in the self-improvement process. Cultivating a habit of rules thinking. Templar emphasizes that these rules are not isolated techniques but rather interconnected principles that, when practiced consistently, cultivate a more mindful and effective approach to thinking. It encourages readers to integrate these rules into their daily lives, transforming them from abstract concepts into ingrained habits. This gradual shift in thinking patterns leads to a more deliberate and skillful approach to navigating challenges, making decisions, and pursuing goals. Examples of rules in action. 1. Prioritizing self-care, Rule 18. Think yourself happy, Rule 19. Focus on other people. A stressed individual struggling with work-life balance implements these rules by scheduling time for relaxation and engaging in volunteer work, promoting both personal happiness and a sense of purpose. 2. Overcoming procrastination, Rule 85. Be honest about procrastinating, recognizing a tendency to delay important tasks. An individual applies this rule by setting clear deadlines, breaking down large projects into smaller, manageable steps, and rewarding themselves for progress to maintain motivation and accountability. 3. Enhancing decision-making, Rule 71. Decide what you're deciding, Rule 82. Find option C. Faced with a difficult career choice, an individual applies these rules by clearly defining their goals, brainstorming alternative options beyond the obvious choices, and evaluating each option based on their long-term aspirations and values. 4. Improving communication, Rule 67. Conflict is okay, Rule 16. Better out than in. To navigate a challenging workplace conflict, an individual applies these rules by engaging in open and respectful dialogue, expressing their concerns constructively, and actively listening to the other person's perspective to reach a mutually beneficial resolution. 5. Fostering creative problem-solving, Rule 59. Don't panic, Rule 60. Get help. When confronted with a complex problem, an individual applies these rules by maintaining a calm and rational mindset, seeking input from trusted colleagues or experts, and exploring a range of potential solutions to arrive at the most effective approach. By consistently applying these rules and tailoring them to their individual circumstances, individuals can cultivate a more mindful and strategic approach to thinking, empowering themselves to navigate challenges, achieve their goals, and live more fulfilling lives. Thank you for listening. I hope this content is useful to you. If you like this kind of content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to support our team.